Texas Longhorns lose a supposed five-star lock in Felix Ojo and to none other than Texas Taco Tech, who offered $5.1 million to the offensive tackle from the 2026 recruiting class. This, of course, is causing a Longhorn meltdown in Austin. But not to be outdone, Oklahoma fans, at least a small percentage of them, are melting down themselves over, Jim Nagy's recruiting approach, convinced the new GM is in way over his head because some targets don't appear on top 100 lists from OU insiders Parker Thune or Brandon Drumm. Let's talk about it. It's Big Monday. Good morning, and welcome back to Rise and Shine's Big Monday. I'm your host, Jason Watkins, and if you love college football, you know you're in the right place. So before you forget, smash that red subscriber button, like our videos, and don't forget to ring the bell so you don't miss one moment of Hall of Fame college football. Welcome into the show, everybody. See, we've got Mason Cummings. Good morning, sir. Bishop Frank Segoy. Logan Litke, True Okie, Sooners for Life. He said Raw Steel and Sex Appeal has just now entered the chat. My man. I love it. Good stuff. Brandon Snake, David Whitehead. Good seeing everybody in here. Good morning. Good to see everybody in here this morning. I'm going to bust some balls today, but this is just what we do on Big Monday. It's just kind of fun. Big Mike will be in here shortly. Or at least he said he would. So we'll see him here in just a few. But what a weekend. What a weekend, man. Got lots of crazy stuff going around with recruiting. I'll give you that. This revenue share, I think, has kind of sent everybody headed really in the wrong direction. Yes, please do hit that like button. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Yeah. Sooner in Texas, my guy. What's up? Yeah, so revenue share has sent programs all over the country, whether they be true blue bloods or kind of blue bloods like Texas, or wish they were blue bloods like, never mind, I'm not going to say that. Or other contending programs, or at least in the past, such as Florida State. They're all kind of having their own little personal problems of different varying reasons for whatever it is, but none more than Texas, the Texas Longhorns, who were just sure that Felix Ojo was on his way to Austin. There was no way they were losing him to anybody, particularly not Oklahoma, and they didn't lose him to Oklahoma, but instead to Texas Taco Tech for $5.1 million. Oh, not Oklahoma, not Aggie, not, one of the other big dogs in the SEC, but Texas Tech. They're really going serious. So Cody Campbell and the Red Raiders faithful are putting their money where their mouth is, I guess. Albeit, I would tell you it was probably going to be simply to maybe go somewhere in the neighborhood of 7-5, 8-4. That would be my guess anyway. Anyway, though, good stuff. It's hilarious. I got to tell you. Let's see. Like button check. Ojo can buy a lot of tacos now. Yeah, listen, I mean, but you don't even have to buy them that much. If you're in the stadium, you can just wait for them to start flying down onto the sideline. Put that big mid up there for a big offensive tackle. Good and good. Good and good. 5.1 million over 3 years, fully guaranteed. It's pretty crazy for a young man who hasn't played a snap of college football yet. Yeah, listen, I'm kind of at the point where I believe that they're worth what they get. Generally speaking, I mean, it's the same thing. You could say the same thing about the NFL. Those guys are getting millions upon millions of dollars for getting drafted too. They haven't played a snap in the NFL yet, none of them. So it's, it is what it is. In the end, I think that if you really truly believe that these guys, I mean, look, essentially, we talked about this a little bit yesterday. I went on with Brinsky and then we were talking about what are the important positions on a college football team. The most important position, obviously, quarterback. But right after that would be the person protecting the quarterback's blind side, the offensive tackle. So if you really are keen on winning in any league, you better have a good quarterback and you better have somebody to protect him. Now, does that help him this year? No, it doesn't. And I tend to wonder how this thing's all going to work itself out when all is said and done. But I would just tell you that I think overall, you probably $5 million over 3 years for a left tackle if he is as good as he says he is. Now, we all watched him getting kind of cooked in those situations, right? Texas still best team in Texas. Yeah, well. Oh, well, that's a big freaking stretch. Way to go, Penn State. Way to jump in with some real stuff. 5.1 is crazy, even though you wouldn't pay that and you wouldn't be mad. Yeah, listen, I don't know what they ended up paying Michael Fasusi last year as the number one offensive tackle. I know it was a large amount of money. Texas made the comment that they weren't going to pay that kind of cash for him, but it is what it is. I'm guessing it's probably about half that. But here's the thing. I think that now what you're seeing, and this is causing a meltdown of epic proportions. Oh, well, I don't know how epic it is. There's a group of Oklahoma fans that are losing their shit too this weekend, and it's just let's just be real about it. Kind of jumping into waters that they you think you think you understand it, and you really don't. So we'll get into a little bit of that as well when it comes to the Jim Nagy effect and what he's doing and how it's really fucking up some people's universe, I guess, when it when it boils down to it. It is what it is. Coming into a season where you've got probably the best defense in the SEC, definitely the best defensive line in the SEC, and you've got a really good quarterback. You've got skill guys. Your offensive line looks really good, and we're complaining about the 26 class that isn't going to see the field. None of these guys are gonna prove that that this guy doesn't know what he's doing or anything like that. But anyway, we'll get into that a little bit. Ben G, what's up, my guy? That was a terrific deal for him, huh? Oh yeah. Oh, is this you being facetious there, Benji? He was getting smoked by Jake Cruel. He very much was. Not only Jake Cruel. In fact, there was a few of them that were getting him. He didn't look good. And to the point that he had to go on, he went on Twitter and defended himself on it. It was really weird. It was really weird. I don't think that the recruiting is bad as it is, Robert, but we'll get into that a little bit. But again, terrific deal for Ojo. And you know what? Shout out to Taco Tech. You got to get in there and do what you got to do and get the best players you can possibly get. If you're going to make a run. Now, I don't know that they were an offensive tackle away. And I would tell you that what I will say is 5.1 seems like a lot, right? Particularly when you're looking at a, quote, salary cap. Now, not that I believe that there's such a thing. But when you're looking at this rev share salary cap that you can't go over. You have to look at it in terms of, look, that's about a third of your yearly money. Now they did spread it out over 3 years, so that probably lessens it a little bit. I do think that it's tough though. And here's where it kind of comes in when what we've been talking about with Oklahoma. Look, in the end, I've been trying to say this, and I'm kind of hoping that Big Michael come in here, but I want everybody to kind of think about the last few years of recruiting and who they've got. Because they're not ranked. Their classes, they had a top 5 class, they had 2 top 10 classes. And then they had they were 16th or 17th last year when they had a short class because they went heavier in the portal than normal, right? Because you needed guys that were going to be ready to go right away, a la John Mateer, so on and so forth, right? But you look at the talent that you have in the room. Some of it you've gotten from the portal. Most of it you've gotten through your recruiting. But you've gotten what? 4 stars total? 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 4. 4 total 4 stars. 3 of them came in the 23 class. The 24 class, though, if you listen to Brent Venables, was better. And it didn't have the same amount of 5 stars in it. It didn't. But when you start looking at some of the guys that were there, I was talking to Marcus Dent last night. And you realize like Isaiah is 6'7", 320. He's the biggest guy on the team. He's 5-star size. He's got movement like that. He played very well in high school. He dropped in the rankings from a very high 4-star down all the way into the 3-star range because of the fact that once they committed to OU, they stopped going to camps and on recruiting visits and things like that. They just kind of shut it down. You start messing with their clicks. They start messing with your stars. Now, that kind of messes with your money too if you're a player. But what I would tell you is it doesn't change who he is. It doesn't change the kind of player he is. He's had the injury during the spring, but I think that wait and see if he's healthy, and it looks like he's going to be completely healthy. He's going to be a big part of what's going on that offensive line this year. You've got other guys like Eddie Pierre-Louis, same thing. You know, you've got guys, Darius Afalava, even though as a freshman, I think Fasusi and Foji are huge to it, but don't forget about Jacob Sexton or Logan Howland or any of these other guys that are already upperclassmen. They're not just handing their spot over to these young dudes. But it's great to have that kind of depth. This is all coming from recruiting the way that Oklahoma has already done it. Now, I would tell you that I don't think that Brent Venables and those guys really care about the recruit rankings. They don't care about how many stars you have. They identify. I know after hearing what Jim Nagy said last week that he doesn't care about what the stars are. And if you go read my column, I'm talking about that very thing. It's kind of like the Saban effect. Look, they were recruiting 5 stars at Clemson after they won their first national championship, and they didn't change a thing. They didn't change a thing. They were still going after the exact same guys. They have a type that they go after. You evaluate them as such. That's who you go get. When you win a national championship and play for another one, all of a sudden your players look better to these recruiting sites. And that's what's happening here. What Jim Nagy said made plenty of sense unless you're unhinged about this entire sausage process. And that's what I've been calling it. That's what Chris Mason's been calling it. It is a sausage process. And look, I'm not saying that he hasn't been a little clunky in his retention efforts and some of that other stuff that's been going on. I will give you that. Okay. What? Who just said that? Is this like real? I mean, now you're making me scramble to on 3 to see if that's going on. Oh, come on, bro. That's not on the news. That's not in the news. Come on. Are you just hoping, or are you thinking that's coming, or what, Topher? Nagy said they're evaluating players in-house, and if they evaluate the 3 stars the same as the 5 stars, they're going after the 3 stars because they get more bang for their buck. Seems smart, in my opinion. It's called value. Yes, correct. Look, what I was just saying about Texas Tech. Think about this. Good for them for sticking it to Texas. Good for them. You know what I mean? That's the second time in a couple of years, although the last time it hasn't so far worked out with the receiver thing. But good for them. That's their first 2 5 stars I think they've ever gotten. But here's what I'll tell you though. If you were doing the same thing, and let me just tell you that Oklahoma's not the only GM, they're not the only program among the big boys that are more going with their own evaluations. Now, you're definitely going to get, we've talked about this before, Ohio State, when they rank somebody or when they've got somebody locked in, I mean, a receiver that goes to Ohio State, he's an auto 5-star. At the very least, a top 100 guy. Why? Because they always have the top 100 guys in the 5-star dudes and the best guy in the country. That's what they do at Ohio State lately. So that's an automatic bump. Just because and same thing, defensive line, same thing. Larry Johnson's had 15 first-team All-Americans as a D-line coach. 15. 4 guys that have won in the top 5 in the draft. Look, it's not hard to understand it. It's the same thing that I was talking about the other day with Nick Saban. And that's what Marcus Dent said the other night about Nick Saban too. Guys, he didn't show up at Alabama and every 5-star was coming to him. What he did was he showed up at Alabama and then they won games immediately with the guys that he was trying to get, and the recruiting services started basically reacting to what he was doing. What the hell was going on here? Okay. Welcome in. Whoa, shit. You know what? I can't even make it switch over. Hold on, let me try something real quick. Oh, yeah. Here we go. All right. Welcome into the show. Big Mike Boganeski wearing a Cubby gear, man. He's loaded up on it, bud. What up? What up? Oh.
Hey, man, let's do it. Got a little sweep of the car, or not a sweep, but a series win against the Cards.
Nice.
People hitting dingers. We're up in the All-Star game, winning games. You know what I mean? Like, let's do it. It's the drought of summer where baseball is. That's all we got right now.
Very cool. Very cool. That and melting down fan bases from, recruiting woes and all this crazy shit going on with rev share.
Dude, I'm gonna tell you, I got a. So I've seen everybody doing their little takes on what Jim Nagy said. Was that Third and Long podcast or whatever that was?
Oh, it's the triple option.
Triple option. There you go. Yeah. Triple I knew there was a 3 in there somewhere. All right.
Yeah.
That's how my TBI works. But hey, newsflash, everybody! Oklahoma was doing this exact stuff before Jim Nagy got there. They're already doing it. They're already signing grades and a monetary value to recruits and transfer portal players, and weren't getting in a bidding war, and not spending money frivolous.
Go ahead.
Like just throwing out money to 5 stars because they're 5 stars. They've already been doing that. So Jim Nagy coming in and, he says it on a podcast, and now it's like a whole different change. Let's go back. I'll take you back to one that I know. I don't know if you remember that cat that transferred from Florida. Big D lineman, ended up going to Mizzou. I believe his last name was like McClellan.
Yeah.
Right? Big D tackle, had like just really low stats. I don't remember what it was, but it was like 6 tackles on the year. And this dude was asking for way too much money, and he ended up going to Mizzou and got the money, and everybody kind of flipped their shit because we didn't get him.
Yeah.
Guess what?
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. Are you paying millions of dollars for a guy that's got like 5 more tackles than I do, and I didn't even play football? You know what I mean? Like that's the kind of numbers he had. But since he was a D lineman in the transfer portal coming from the SEC, y'all want to give this dude millions of dollars. Nah.
Well, Topher, you weren't wrong. Looky there. Breaking news. Oklahoma Athletic Director Joe Castiglione will retire from his full-time role during the upcoming school year, bringing it into the longest tenured run for a current AD in major college sports. On the hiring of his successor, according to sources, Castiglione will stay on as athletic director emeritus. He's entering his 28th year at OU, a span that has seen 26 national championships, 117 league titles, and the Sooners moved from the Big 12 to the SEC. Wow.
I love the picture they used right there.
Yeah, not
like he looks super young right there, but in the same text up there, he's retiring. You know what I mean? Like you don't think of a young guy retiring. Like that's the shit that gets me with media sometimes. Like, bro, let's pull a picture, a current picture. You know what I mean? Like the dude looks like he's 28 in this picture.
Yeah, well, not exactly 28, but yeah, he doesn't look that old to begin with. I've never thought, really. Times I've been around him. But he's been around for a while. He's definitely been around for a while. I like it when he wears his little.
That's what I'm saying. That's a style. Like, can we at least give him credit for what he's rocking in this current age of
style, bro? He's got some style, bro. I give him
a little Kango action going on.
Little Kango. I like it. Yeah. Listen, shout out to Joe C for making that choice. I think it's been coming for a while, for sure. And you've heard more over the last year, people screaming about it. So not super surprising. Wasn't expecting this, but
that's crazy.
Got to give a shout out to Joe C. He definitely has been very good at his job. For all the stuff that people want to say about in the last few years or whatever, and how we're handling the money situation and all the he's the compliance guy. He's always been the compliance guy. That's why they hired him, and so people are kind of sick of the compliance shit. They want to win. They're sure of it. That is, word is he's heading to SMU to be the AD. You think? Huh. Why they need it? They have a compliance issue there, Mars. Was this a forced retirement? I don't know. It kind of, it just hit. So no telling. It makes you wonder, will they be bringing back young Mr. Selman from Mississippi State to be athletic director?
So does this mean like before the school year starts or the athletic year?
I don't know. That's what I was just looking at.
Does this mean is like he's
out during the year? It says during the year. So, I guess, I don't know, man.
During the upcoming school year. So like sometime this year, whenever I really feel like I'm done, I'm going to step down.
Yeah. Yeah. Listen, I think it'll be once. Well, he's going to stay on. It says as AD emeritus. So I don't know what that exactly is, but I guess I do. He's just going to be. It's going to be basically like what Nick Saban's doing at Alabama.
Yeah.
Just have an office down the road, and
how's that going? Like, I don't want to see how anybody coming in behind him would want that, have him there. You know what I mean? Like,
that's what they like to do. That's what they do at Oklahoma, though. They like to do this stuff to keep these guys.
If I'm out, I'm all the way out, right? If I'm out, I'm all the way out. I'm not like straddling the fence. If I'm done, I'm done.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
I'm not sure I understand it either, but the thing is they apparently, this is how they roll, though. This is what they did with, I always said that with Lincoln, I felt like they kind of did, they kind of screwed with him on his ability to kind of have the team and be its own. Stoops was always just kind of perched over the top, right? So I don't know, man. It's the way they kind of roll with it, and you see this happen everywhere. that as long as these old dudes are still alive, they're still hanging around, you know? They didn't want to keep the job. I wouldn't straddle it either. I'm with you on that.
Yeah.
No, he wasn't. He not necessarily the all, and it's not even necessarily the all in the building stuff. I think it was him still always speaking for the program the way that he did. You realize that hasn't really continued since Brent showed up. He doesn't do that as much. But isn't a player's tape the most important thing over a star rating from a camp in shorts? Yeah, well, it should be, but it's not to on 3 247 rivals. Listen, it's a for-profit business they got going on over there. And
we're big cuz, man. We need big cuz in here on this subject.
Yeah, we've talked about it some, right? I mean, but yeah, I mean, even he'll tell you, and I mean, and his business partner is with 247, and a lot of what he does, a lot of his business these days has a lot to do with recruiting and evaluations and shit like that, you know? Actually, they're working on some stuff in Oklahoma right now with the governor. So, there's some good stuff going on, apparently. The cool thing is, look, I think when you turn around and when you look at it, and this is what I've been kind of saying all week, and I wrote that column yesterday, I think we got to calm down a little bit if you're Oklahoma fans, okay? Like Big Mike just told you, this is what they've been doing. I said it a few minutes ago. I don't think that they've given a shit about a star rating since Brent Venables got here. Now, they've been able to grab some guys. They've got more five-star dudes the last few years than you've seen coming through here in a while, other than, bust receivers. One quarterback that wasn't, I guess. But here's the thing. And what Big Cuz was saying the other night, and he was right. He jumped on with us on the late shift, and he was right what he said. He was talking about, getting your value for your players or whatever, trying to get as much value as you can, which makes plenty of sense if you sit back and think about it for a second. But if you start winning, now if Oklahoma goes and they make a playoff run this year, which, we're hoping that they do, or, I'm not saying it's definitely going to happen. I think that a successful year is them being in contention for the playoff at the last couple of weeks of the season. I think that leads to success. So that being said, I would just say that, you have to look at it in terms of, golly, guys, you're not going to get all these five-star guys because guess what? We don't have the same money that Texas and Texas A&M have. We don't have the same money that Ohio State or Notre Dame we just don't have that kind of money. USC, they can outpay. They can. But I don't think that what he was saying was that he's not going to go after any five stars anymore, right?
That's not what he's saying. If they think a kid's a 5-star,
yeah,
and they can not overpay, they're going to try and get him. We just got Susie last one, right? Obviously, we weren't the highest bidder, but we still got him. I mean, I know that wasn't Nagy, but I mean, we're gonna. Listen, it's not. I'm gonna. Here's what I am gonna tell you is that these coaches don't sit on 3 and 24/7 sports looking at rankings all day, every day, right? You can't put them in the same pond as us as consumers and the lay people, right? Mm-hmm. Because those guys, they're watching film, right? They got people scouring the interwebs for these kids, right? And they're doing their own evaluation, right?
Yeah, of course.
We are letting on 3, 24/7 tell us who they think are the great players, the 5 stars, the top 247, the top 300. ESPN. I mean, ESPN. I'm convinced they don't do their own rankings. They just piggyback off everybody else. But those people are telling us who they think are the best, and we are just listening and like, yeah, I agree or I disagree. There's not a lot of people out there that can watch these films of these young athletes and
Tell one
say,
from the
yeah,
other.
I think that dude's good, or yeah, I don't think he's good. Like, are you looking at the dude's length, right? Are you looking at, his footwork? Are you looking at, his eyes and reading the play and taking angles? And is he hustling on plays
Yeah, what's
away?
his football
Is he
IQ like?
dogging it?
What kind is
Is
he
he
throwing guys open? Is he
Yeah,
doing
is he
like yeah,
shaking? Is he taking on blocks? Is he trying to avoid it? When he tackles people, are they falling forward or is the ball carrier going backwards? Is he knocking the snot out of people or is he just arm tackling? Like, there's so much stuff you got to look at. And I, to be honest with you, the only reason I would care about a ranking right now is because it gives you a leg to stand on in NIL when you're coming to school your first year. Other than that, I gives a shit.
true. True. Well, and I mean, that's essentially what Jim Nagy said. That he wasn't trying to take shots, but he was basically saying, look, and I said this in the column. We're talking about a business model. And I'm not even, I mean, we've talked about it in terms of the way that we've said it before in the past is that, not only is it not scientific, but about half the time it's horse shit because it's guys that with an axe to grind. And sometimes they have an axe to grind. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, you had your own, I mean, you talked about this whenever you guys decided not to go to K-State. Mike's not the number one player in the state anymore. You know what I mean? And it was like he never was. You know what I mean? And so things change or whatever, but not even to go to that extent. But you also have to
Yeah.
look at there's only so many guys those dudes are seeing. And
Yeah.
part of their business model is to make sure that they get them to these camps, that they can get content from them by doing interviews and doing this and that and getting clicks on their damn website. I mean,
to counter what you just said, though, all the in-state schools and all the schools, they all were like, yeah, Mike's the best player in state. Like, the schools, the consensus was like, yeah, it's not even a doubt. But it's the beat writers and the people that are covering from those schools, and specifically just
with their money.
Yeah, it was just one. It was they just kind of just turned a page on Mike, and it was kind of like, it wasn't the schools, and maybe the schools
I
was telling
understand
them to
that. I
say that
wasn't
or
saying that it was
whatever.
K-State necessarily.
Yeah.
I was
You
talking
never
about
know.
recruiting
You
services.
never know.
Right?
Yeah, you
Well,
never know.
and because we're talking about the same thing, we were just talking about it with Isaiah. He was a high 4-star. He's 6'7" and was pushing 300 pounds whenever he got here. Now he's 320, but he's the biggest guy on the team. He's got true measurables that you could call him a 5-star, right? I think if he's healthy, he's going to be a big part of this program this year on that line, a big part of the rotation. They need him. They do. Because you can't expect freshmen to come in and be ready to be a day one starter in the SEC on the line. You can't. I don't care if they're 5 stars or not. Should never be the expectation. And I think that Fasusi and Foje are fantastic. I don't know that they're ready to step in front of these other guys yet. We'll see. Maybe they are. If they are, cool. But I would just say that you need these guys. But if you look at what he ended up being a 3-star because once he committed to Oklahoma, they stopped going on trips. They stopped going to camps. They didn't they stopped going on recruiting trips too. And so all of a sudden, now they don't have any more content to make about you. We were just kind of talking about the same stuff with Jaden O'Neal. Whenever they didn't play as many games as like everybody else did last year, and you didn't have as much film on him, and he's already been basically he was committed to Oklahoma for a year before he decommitted. There's not much to write about anymore. right? And so all of a sudden, out of sight, out of mind, they drop you in your rankings. And sometimes there's shit to it, sometimes there's not. But the point I'm trying to make is, shit, there's 30,000 players per year that come into college football at some level. Upwards of 30,000, 20 to 30,000. Are we really to believe that there's only 32 of them that are truly elite? Or even 200, 250, whatever it is that the top, the 4 stars are within that range or whatever. I know it's like 300 or something like that. But really, I mean, those are the only guys that have those measurables and those abilities are just those dudes that they're seeing at these camps. Bullshit. And that's exactly what he just told you this weekend. Or last week whenever he was talking to Urban Meyer and those guys. That's exactly what he said. It's like, it's not that they're gonna not really good, but a 5-star wants to get paid like a 5-star and probably should. But if we're grading somebody about the same as we're going to grade a 5-star, but he popping up a 3, yeah, we're going to take, the ability to be able to get a couple of those guys instead of one for the same money, and we're probably in better shape. And guess what? That'll only last as long as they're not freaking winning SEC or national championships or going deep in the playoffs every year. Soon as that happens, guess what? Now they're going to start paying attention to how you evaluate too. It's the same way you look at what we were just talking about, Ohio State. Larry Johnson's had 15 first-team All-Americans, 15 of them. 5 of those dudes have been in the top 5 of the damn draft. You think whenever he locks in on someone that they get a bump on their recruiting numbers? I think they do. I'm pretty sure if Nigel Smith ends up going to Ohio State, he's a 5-star. You know what I mean? I don't think it's even a question. If he goes to
it's not like a lot of times it's not even about the actual player and how good he is, right? It's about where you're at, where you're going,
sure,
and what school you go to. Like what camps, what camps are you going to? What camps you've been invited to? Yada yada yada, and yeah. What's crazy is when that whole thing was during the recruitment. There's a couple tournaments we were out in baseball tournaments in the summer out in the Kansas City metro, and it was Marcus at the time was playing, and obviously they had their names on the back of their jerseys, and I would hear people, and I would hear people in the stands like yelling at him, "Tell your brother to stay home," and all this stuff like before he was committed, and
it
was
kind
of wild. Yeah, I don't think they realized I was his dad, with my big white self walking around, and you know what I mean. Like I don't think they realized it was me. But
there's definitely a resemblance there, but it's not as immediate as it
for
could
sure.
be. I get that, yeah,
For sure. But yeah, no, it was pretty funny, like being able to just like blend in and like look at it from afar. It's kind of funny. Like Marcus was like, and I don't think he realized what happened one time. He was like, "What are you talking like? Why are you talking to me?" You know what I mean? But then he realized what he meant.
Oh,
But it was kind of funny.
That's awesome.
It's kind of funny. Hey, Neilio, that the Bremer kid out there, the tight end, I wasn't shocked by that. I wasn't shocked at all.
Off to Notre Dame.
I couldn't see him going to K-State. They got Cure last year. I feel like Kansas had a chance with what they're doing with the in-state kids right now. Felt like they had a chance. I kind of heard it was Iowa State too. I kind of heard that a couple times, but yeah, I wasn't shocked with Notre Dame. No, not at all. Now I would have been shocked if he went to K-State. That would have been like the only real shocker for sure.
Yeah. TP's asking, what's the history of true freshmen being high production players? I can only think of AD Marcus Dupree. Tommy Harris, Caleb Williams. That's pretty much it that I can think of right now. Oh, well, Teddy Lehman. Roy was a freaking production machine the second he got to town, wasn't he? Pretty much.
I mean, you gotta be different.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You gotta be different, especially back in the day now.
A lot of it
Especially
also
back
has
in
to
the
do
day.
with kind of where you are in the grand scheme of things too. I mean, when you get a guy like Billy Bowman comes in and plays a lot as year one, right? Because they needed him to. Same with Stutzman. They weren't necessarily ready, but it's not like there were a lot of guys that were better on that defense.
But there's a difference. There's a difference, right?
Right.
Being ready and not being ready, but producing, right?
Sure,
Like you can still run around and make some tackles. It doesn't necessarily mean you're ready. You know what I mean? You're just out there getting it in. You could be jacking up all your responsibilities and still making tackles. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Like, you could just be neglecting the flat and, making a tackle on that hook curl guy. You know what I'm saying? Like it's stats don't always tell the real story.
No, and then like, and I think you would have to say the same thing about like Jaden Jackson, right? You'd have to say the same thing about Jaden. I mean, he definitely put some numbers together for a defensive tackle. The tackles, they generally get around 30 tackles if they have a good year.
Listen.
They plug up the line. Their job is to plug up areas and make sure that other guys can get tackles and shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
Pressure.
Yeah, I said it, man. Like what he did his freshman year coming in the SEC and me seeing some of the shit he was doing with these blocking scheme and commanding double teams and just like that shit was crazy. And you can't convince me that there was another freshman out there. They might have had more stats and all this and stuff, but you're not going to sit there and tell me they didn't have a better year than Jay Jackson. I'm tell you that right now.
Well, there's a reason why he was
but that goes back to my point, man. You got to know you got to watch that shit. You got to know what you're looking at, right? Like you got to watch the play and know what kind of block he's getting and how he's handling it and knowing what he's supposed to do technique wise with that. You know what I'm saying? Like there's so many different ways to play it, but
his ability to his hand fighting, he's polished at that position. Not only is he a monster, huge and ability is through the roof, but he's also very polished as a player.
The biggest problem kids have coming from high school to Division I football.
How could we
is pad level, right?
Yes.
Pad level.
Yes.
And his pad level was really good.
Yes, it was.
Coming out of high school.
Fantastic.
Your pad level can always get better. It's never, you know what I mean? Like you can always get better with pad level. But Jaden Jackson's pad level was phenomenal. And that's why he was successful. Good footwork, good hands placement, low pad level. Shit.
Yeah.
Big ass kid like that, bro. He was
Ronnie Perkins was really good day one. Yeah. He didn't get to stay around for very long. He was always getting in shit. But that dude was a stud, no doubt. No doubt. Jackson also played with a hurt
shoulder.
Oh, Jaden. Yeah, Jaden. Yeah, I thought you were talking about Jackson.
Listen, man.
I was like,
everybody's playing with hurt shoulders. It's just a matter of how bad.
True that. especially along the trenches. They're beating the shit out of those shoulders.
Everybody's shoulders hurt, bro. Everybody.
I agree. No doubt. You still got a bum shoulder, don't you?
Oh, my shits are all jacked up. I got two torns right now. 2 torn labrums right now.
Speed of play as well. Players are a lot faster and stronger. No doubt about it. I mean, here's the difference. The one thing I'll say is that like when you look at Stoney and Jaden, coming from IMG kind of means something, right? Because they're playing a national schedule of badass players from week to week to week, right? Now they're generally better than that, but a lot of high school players, I mean, look, I would venture to say, I just listened and was reading what Neilio was saying. It was pretty apparent that every week that your son was on the field, he was the best player on the field. And it probably wasn't that close, you know? There's a difference in guys that can do that. Like Jaron Canick just dominated his ass off, everybody he played. but he was a different dude, right? And so I think that that's generally the way it is at most of these places, that they don't play a lot of guys that are on their level unless they get into, obviously, into a bunch of the camps or those situations, or you're an IMG guy or whatever. When you look at what Jaden, I mean, and Stoney even, I think injuries kind of kept him. And part of it was the fact that they had a lot of upperclassmen that it was one thing for one of them to break into the lineup, another thing for them to both play as much as what Jaden did. You know, it just wasn't going to happen. But I also think that when you look at their development, I think it's going quicker. Stoney, apparently, everything I've heard is that he was the guy all through the spring. He had, you know, matured quite a bit, and he's becoming that dude. He's liable to be a starter now. You know what I mean? I don't know how they're going to work that. I don't really care. I know they've got a really good rotation there.
Yeah, if you can, it doesn't even matter if he starts, right?
No, he just needs to get a lot.
You're coming at teams in waves, right? You got a rotation, so everybody's getting similar snaps. You just got to make plays now. You got to be a factor. You got to be a factor up in there.
Absolutely. Well, when you look at Grayson Halton had a fucking year last year too.
Yeah.
He had himself a year.
Oh yeah. G Baby got them wheels, bro.
Bro, he does. He's the guy gets pressure. I mean, his leverage is very good. Obviously being a bit smaller, but that's a good thing for in his case, but he's also a monster when it comes to just his motor and his speed is real. His speed is real. And that's the difference in some of these dudes. They're just different level athletes than what you see. And it's a lot of, just like you said a minute ago, I don't think a lot of people do know what they're looking at from, you know, when they're watching a high school kid.
Let me tell you something. There's levels to it too, right? Like if I went in and sat in a meeting right now with like D-line meeting with Chavis or Bates or whatever, like I'm not on their level, bro. I'm not doing that shit every day like they are. Like I do it every once in a while and watch some dudes, like especially during football season.
In the NFL and shit,
bro. Dude, like I'm not sitting here acting like I'm fucking all that, dude. I know a drop of what they know. You know what I mean? Like I played D-line and
I've been covering it and watching it and seeing guys. I mean, I think I'm pretty good at. I can see certain things.
Levels to it, and that shit is hilarious to me. Watching people on Twitter act like they know what the fuck they're talking about.
I know. Like this whole Nagy thing. Like this whole Nagy thing that, you know, oh God Almighty, he's not impressing me. Okay, well, good. That's good to hear. It's good to hear that he's not impressing.
We'll be just fine.
Because here's the thing, in the end, the one thing I'm going to just kind of remind everybody here from that's an Oklahoma fan, you do realize that we've been trying to play this money and 5-star game for the entirety of the time that they've had rankings on these players, right? We've won one national championship and it's been 25 years. So it's not like we were exactly getting it done doing it that way either. You know why? Because they don't, and I don't want to hear about they just now started paying players, because we know better than that. You going to tell me that AD didn't get paid? I'm going to tell you he did. I'm going to tell you he did. And he should. But yeah, everybody's blowing up the phone here. Big news. Yep, he is. Another report. Tulsa World's reporting it now.
Yeah, there's a big story on ESPN too.
Yeah, it's popping everywhere.
The full story.
Hey, listen, shout out to Joe C. Man, he's had a long and successful career. I do tend to believe it was probably time. But you know, Nigel Smith. Yep. Listen, in the end, like I said, I think that you're going to find that these guys are doing the right thing. And to think that we have an idea of, I mean, seriously, this scouting department has 60 plus years of scouting at both levels. I mean, they know what the hell they're doing. Jim Nagy has been around the best in the personnel game in the NFL for 25 years. He knows what he's looking at. And the guys that he hired know what they're looking at too, or else he wouldn't have hired them. And like I said, and I think what Big Cuz said was perfect. It's not going to last very long because if they win, then they'll start paying attention. They'll start taking cues from who they're going after. Those guys will now be bumped up and you won't get that value. We should really be enjoying this while we can. You really should be, because you can get more of these guys until it starts costing a shit ton more.
So what you're saying is you think it's going to change when if we start consistently winning?
Yeah, I think that now all of a sudden everybody's after those same guys. See, he was talking about if we're going after the 3-star that ranks as a 5-star in our rankings, in our internal rankings, then we're not going up against Texas and LSU and Alabama and Ohio State as much, Oregon, and having to get into those big bidding wars. If we're going up against a Big 12 school more times than not, excuse me, Taco Tech, but aside from that, I mean, or low-level Big 12 school, or say NC State or somebody like that, because nobody else sees him as that guy. They haven't seen him because he hasn't been going to camp, but they're looking at him and he's a 3-star. It's easier for Oklahoma to get him, and they don't have to pay as much. That's where your reputation. I mean, you talked about, you knew that Mike was going to go to OU pretty early on, but you said, there were still thoughts that he might go to K-State. But I mean, shit, when you get that opportunity, it's kind of something that you have to take the chance like that, right? It's a different animal to go to Oklahoma than it is to go to K-State. No offense.
Yeah, I don't disagree. I don't know if I necessarily. I mean, I just feel like recruiting battles are going to always take place, and shying away from them or going after every recruit that Texas goes after doesn't really make sense.
I agree with you.
You know what I mean? That shit doesn't make, just because Texas is going after a kid doesn't mean we should, and vice versa.
I don't think I heard him saying that they're never going to go after.
That's what I'm seeing, though. That's what people are coming up with online, and dude, let me tell you, that's weird to me. That's like
he was trying to make a point that if you have that I mean, sometimes you may not. Look, I think that there's a lot of those dudes out there that, I mean, he said himself that the NFL is littered with 2- and 3-star guys that are in the league for a long time. We know it. Okay, cool. But that doesn't mean that you're always going to have a guy that comps to a guy like Michael Fasusi or a guy like PJ Adebayo or, Peyton Bowen. They don't always comp. They don't. And they get linemen, they get wrong more than anybody else. That is a fact.
Yeah, and
I get wrong more than anybody else.
In this landscape today, I don't think you're going to see guys or see teams stacking up 5 stars like previous years.
I think Alabama has 5 of them right now.
Yeah, I don't see how that holds, man. I don't see how that holds. It's just like USC right now too. They've got the best class and it ain't even close, but that shit's not going to hold up, bro. At certain point, you're going to run out of money. Like you cannot pay all these kids coming in and pay your team.
The bag man is back, bro. Come on.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Hey, for sure. Like that's a whole nother story, but that's going to be if let's say USC in their class and how big it is and the 4 and 5 stars they got right now holds up, it only leads you to one explanation. That they are paying all these kids under the table.
Well, yeah, they've been paying them $20,000 a month to be state committed.
Yeah, and that's not. Yeah, like I mean, where's this in the NCAA? Should be like, oh, really? Let's go make an example out of USC.
Yeah, like they won't do that.
But I mean, if they want to have any credibility, they have to.
Yeah. Listen,
because $20.5 million, shit, dude, you're probably blowing damn near half of that just on your recruiting class.
Robert, it's completely unsustainable is what it is. Five stars a year sounds expensive. It is because it's ridiculously expensive.
And you see what schools are doing, right?
Yeah.
They're trying to do multi-year deals. And that, to me, benefits the school more times than not.
Well, kind of, except that I think that these coaches like having the flexibility on their roster. You don't see that either.
I mean, I think coaches. Does this 3-year deal mean anything? Obviously, we don't know.
I don't know.
Do I think a 3-year deal for 5.1 really means that? No, I don't, because that shit could change fucking tomorrow. You know what I mean? Like that dude could decide Texas could come in and say, "Hey, we'll give you 5.2." You know what I mean? Like he could, I'm decommitting, and you know what I mean? Like none of the shit fucking holds water to me, but I don't know. I don't know if I would do a 3-year deal like me. I would kind of take the LeBron James approach and do 1-year deals.
Yeah.
Because I mean,
well, and we don't know what that contract looks like, by the way.
Yeah, they kind of went over it on the breakdown. I'm gonna have to rewatch that part of it when they talked about it.
There could be some out somewhere after year 2 or something like that. They generally are going to leave themselves wiggle room and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That being said, if they're you know, I can understand why Tech would do it.
Oh, for sure.
Because you have to protect your quarterback.
But I look at it like the Nyjari Kennedy deal. Like they signed her for $1 million. Dude, that was a steal. Sure. They got her for a steal. Everybody was like, "Oh!"
And now it caused them to be able to get a lot more too.
Look at what she did to Texas Tech, dude. Yeah. Get out of here, bro. $1 million was cheap. I mean, they didn't win it all, but they got way more pub than they have in any sport. Just this last college softball season.
Well, and even Tech and Neilio, I think you're right. For so many of the programs around Power 4, the guarantee of having the current money allotted to their budget is far from a certainty. Give it 2 more seasons, you'll see certain teams suffer. And I don't think that. Here's the thing: having one willing billionaire booster like Tech has is not enough. Not forever. The guy's not going to throw all his fucking money away on this thing if it don't start working. And I'm going to tell you, it ain't going to work. It ain't going to work. There's something about it.
They have to, at a minimum, win the Big 12.
I don't even know that they will.
That's what I'm saying, though. They, like, with the amount of money they're spending, and I don't know, like, you are almost, when you pay a kid coming out of high school that much money, you almost have to start them.
Yeah.
And what does that do to the guys that are there right now? They're like, well, shit, they're going to have to start this dude because they're paying him. I'm out of here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I feel like at a certain point that could fracture what's going on in the locker room and in your team building.
Yep. Guys, we have 75, 80 people in the stream on YouTube, and we've got 37 likes. Come on. Come on, man. Just hit the like button. It's the free. Don't be a freeloader. Don't be a freeloader. It's free to do it, so don't be a freeloader.
Don't be a hater.
Don't be a hater. Haters. Tech has an easy schedule. Do they?
I mean, that don't matter.
I don't think that matters. Here's the thing. You still got to win all those games, and I don't know how easy it is. I mean, don't they have to play the better teams in the conference? Let me see. I thought I had a Big 12 schedule somewhere right close, but I guess I don't. Let's see. Texas Taco Tech. Let us see. So wild. But I guess I don't know that they were able to grab those dudes.
I mean, shit, they went They went and signed all those defensive dudes last year too
They did.
in the transfer portal.
Well, and I mean, but we talk about, like, I mean, he got $4 billion off of selling that company. Okay, cool. $4 billion isn't like Elon money. You know what I mean? And I don't know. I don't see how. I don't think it's sustainable for anybody to continue doing shit like that. Oklahoma won't do it, and they've got 10 billionaires that are in there. You know what I'm saying? There's a bunch of those cats. Okay, they've got Arkansas, Pine Bluff, Kent State, Oregon State, then Utah, Houston, Kansas. I don't think this is easy. Arizona State, Okie Light, K-State, BYU, UCF, West Virginia. How is that easy? I think they're 8-4. I think they're 8-4. I'm sorry. That's how they roll.
Chalk your shit, Neilio.
Do it. What's
That's
he saying?
hilarious.
What he said.
Oh, man. That's hilarious. He said, I know one thing, Texas Tech isn't coming into Manhattan leaving with the W.
Yeah. Taco Tech ain't getting her done. I don't think they've done it in fucking 30 years, have they? It's been a long ass time since they've done it.
Did Mahomes beat them that one year when they came up to Manhattan? I was at that game. I can't remember if Mahomes.
You know what? I would doubt it, because I would tell you that I think Cliff Kingsbury was like the worst of those coaches that came through there. He's shitty. He never won more.
It really made sense to me how he parlayed that into a job in the NFL.
I know he failed up, way failed up. Fucked that one off too, and got another coordinator job.
Why he got it right? He was coming there with the quarterback, right? And they wanted that quarterback.
Well, I mean, he didn't know Kyler. He didn't know Kyler up until that point, and I don't think they got along that good in Arizona either. In fact, I know they didn't. I don't know. What is it? 38. What's 38? TT can be the SMU of the Big 12. No, they can't. No, hey, you know what? SMU would buy and sell Texas Tech. Just so we understand, it ain't kind of the same. SMU has not been relevant because of the fact that they have not let them in a relevant conference to help them be good. That's why. And them being in a power conference may end up biting everybody in the ass. Now that you can pay players above the table. Nobody has money like SMU. Very few. Very few have money like SMU. Bro, that's real. They literally are going to be in the ACC for 10 years before they get $1 from them. And don't give a fuck.
My wife be on TikTok. And she sees these reels about the SMU girls, and I guess like the saying is trust funds only or something. So every time she hears SMU, she can hear in the background, trust funds only. It's fucking hilarious.
They are loaded.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Those are the people that if they woke up with like Donald Trump money, they jump out of a fucking building. You know what I mean? That's how come the kind of money they got. Unbelievable. Big dollars, bro. Big dollars. Welcome in, show. Segoy. Fence Post, what's up, my guy? Who else we got? Taco Tech's billionaire will grow tired of burning his money too. Yeah, well, he played there, so it may last a little longer. And if he made $1 billion before, he can find a way to fund it somehow, I'm sure. But the thing is that you still don't throw good money after bad at some point. You just stop doing it. And I'm going to tell you, we've never seen Tech live up to being the kind of program in any of their programs, even though they're a basketball school, I guess. And you know what, to be fair, they've definitely they're a basketball school. That's what they think they are anyway.
I consider them a softball school.
I love it. That was
What was that?
the Atomic Dog, bro.
Sound like you farted.
No. I don't know why. Oh, we were talking shit the other day with Coach on last night or on Tuesday.
Did you see that girl? The Desiree Spearman from New Mexico State. She went to Tech.
She did?
Yeah, she went to Texas Tech. She transferred. Like the best softball player in the history of the school. 2 years, played there 2 years, was like the best ever. We got that money.
That's kind of what New Mexico State is. It's just
Shit, I was hoping she would go to OU, bro. I was hoping OU would try to get her.
Oh shit. 4 of our top 5 wealthiest donors to our university simply do not give to athletics ever. We ain't poor, but athletic donor wise, we mid. No, I get it. And honestly, that the same could be said at most big endowment universities. That most of that money is almost never for athletics. Almost never. Because you get there's so much more money in research is what they dump into buildings and shit so they can do research and make real fucking money back. You know, there's a reason for it. I mean, for every T-Boone, there's a guy that won't do it. Yeah, I got to be careful about that though, man, because it wouldn't let me even put it on. Like I was trying to do that with the shorts that I did with Coach on there when he was talking about that. So they was playing the original track backwards to rewind the tape. George Clinton was so high that he began singing on it, and it became a hit. Hey, man, it's great. The Atomic Dog, shit.
You know, I never really understood why people wouldn't want them to use your music. You know what I mean? On something.
They want their money. I don't know what it is, but
I mean, I get it. They want their money, but like
sure.
exposure is what leads to that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like how you get money off putting it on.
A lot of those older artists are used to getting fucked by all this stuff. You know what I mean? And they did for a long time, and so they've got it locked up. Like, look at Snoop. He doesn't let any of his music out on the internet ever.
I want my shit out there exposed.
True. But if people were playing it and they're making money off of playing your music, and then you're not making any money off of it, you would probably shut it down too.
Depends. Depends
on how much you already got.
Yeah.
Patents and shit. Yep. Same. Royalty checks. Yes. I don't make enough to give them a royalty check, so I'm not doing it. You can definitely buy a license to run certain music and stuff, but you have to buy it. And some of them are fucking pricey. Very pricey. So I think
if you was trying to buy George Clinton shit, how much would it cost?
Let's go look. I can tell you.
Curious. I don't know anything about this.
So,
Milli Vanilli, man. Now everybody lip syncs now, Neilio. Milli Vanilli's probably like, what the fuck?
Right? Yeah. Yeah, they've got voiceover and shit. Yeah. It's fucking funny. And on top of that, the auto-tune.
Yeah.
The old auto-tune. Let's see. Videos. Let me go to music.
Yeah. When I was a kid, that thing happened with Milli Vanilli. I didn't even really care. I was like, I like it. I like their music. I don't care if they're.
Girl, you know it's true.
Yeah. Milli Vanilli was jamming. I had that cassette, bro.
Yeah, dude. We were young back then.
I had that cassette tape.
Back in the days, bro.
I remember that.
Ooh, love you. Let's see, where the fuck is that? YouTube creator music is what I'm looking for, but I'm not finding it. So, oh, there we go. I think, yeah. Okay, so if I go to say, let's see George Clinton. What does he want? I know Joyner Lucas was expensive because I was looking. I liked a beat that he had, and I don't even remember what the song was, to be honest with you. But it kind of fit with the video that I was trying to do, and I just looked at it, and whoa, dude, it was nuts. It was nutty.
That Milli Vanilli album was one of the ones you could listen to every song on there, front to back, bro.
Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
All righty. Let's see it. I don't think this is the right thing either. I'm seeing it here. It says it's got no. See, damn it. Where's the creator music? Damn it. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's happening here. Yeah, it'll be shortly, Coach. I'm going to have to get, I think we don't have a whole lot of time left. So I'm going to go ahead and get to some of this other stuff because it appears that we got shit going on at work.
Yeah, I derail us.
Huh?
I always derail us.
No, it's okay. It's okay. Actually, though, I'm going to do something real quick here. Let me run this commercial real quick so I can set this up. So we'll be right back. Are you tired of your game day gear looking like it's stuck in the offseason? Well, step up your fandom with Hall of Fame College Football's official Fanatics partner store. Whether you're a diehard Oklahoma Sooners fan like myself, bleeding crimson and cream, or you rep another one of the SEC's heavy hitters, Fanatics has you covered. Shop thousands of officially licensed hats, jerseys, sideline polos, and exclusive championship merch from the entire Power 4 and Group of 6 too. All shipped directly to your doorstep and fast. Want to gear up like your favorite coaches and players? Are you looking for that perfect tailgate tee or statement piece for your man cave? Fanatics is your one-stop shop for authentic college football gear from everybody that plays the game. So do yourself and your team a favor. Click our link in the description or simply log on to hofmedia.us/fanatics. That's hofmedia.us/fanatics. And you can shop everything that you want for the best prices of the day right on our Fanatics partner page. Okay. I don't think I finished there, but Coach was texting me. So, all right, we've got about 30 minutes tops, so we got to get. All right, baby, don't forget my number. We're on this. Milli Vanilli.
I'm trying to. Milli Vanilli had them bangers, bro. I'm trying to tell you.
Funny shit, bro. That is some funny ass shit. Let's see. Where is that shit? So what I wanted to do was just, here we go. I want to rank the top interior defensive linemen in the country, or in the SEC. In the SEC. Okay, Coach. Dang. Y'all quit texting me, Bishop. Quit texting me. Blowing me up, shit. I was gonna rank that, and I want to do so Wednesday. I want to do outside, like edge guys in the conference as well. Then we'll do linebackers, and we'll do linebackers / cheetah, I guess. I guess we could do linebackers and edge guys on Wednesday, and then we'll do the secondary guys on Friday. So that way we get that knocked out.
Hey, man, before we do this real quick, the amount of views these Milli Vanilli songs have on YouTube is out of control.
Fucking insane, right?
37 million, 214 million.
Yeah.
Who's getting the money? 271 million.
They don't hardly get any money off of the shit either. That for every millions of, I think they get a few bucks off of the million. I'm serious.
But do they get the Bucks?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I don't know. I don't know what
That's what I'm saying.
they're broke as shit. I don't know how much they own of that because they were lip syncing it. Who was doing it? Who was really doing the singing? I think, aren't they dead? Didn't one of them kill himself and the other one like die off somewhere at some point too? I don't think they're still around. Yeah. To be honest with you, I think that's the case. Did I see Unk in here? There's no Unk. Zach Selman is more than likely the next AD at Oklahoma. I said that earlier, Unk. I said that earlier. Oh man, I appreciate you. I think you're probably right. It seems like they were lining him up to be that guy, right? That's what they were working at. What's up, Stan J. Ross? Unk. Joe Gone. Boomer Halen, what's up? What's up, Moosehead? We only got a few more minutes. Jesse Browning, Rob. Good to see everybody. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and rank the top 5, though. Defensive tackles in the SEC. And you can let me know what you think if you like somebody else and stuff. I mean, we'll go through it. All right. First one.
National discussion that it probably got.
Damn it.
Oklahoma discussion that it probably got. Oklahoma
I don't know why that has sound to it, but I'll make sure that ain't on there no more. Okay. Tim Keenan III from Alabama, number 5, is a big boy in the middle there, and he looks like he's definitely one of the top guys to me. I don't know that he didn't have a ton of tackles. I think he was closer to like 16 to 18, something like that. But he's the epitome of one of those guys that plugs up shit and makes sure that, other guys are able to make plays. Very good at stopping the run. He was a big part of what they did this last year for sure, towards the end of the year, because they got a lot better, right? That's where I would say. Let's see which one I'm on here. All right, so the next one, throw it in there too. Damn it, man. But what do you think about Keenan? Have you, obviously.
I don't know much about him.
Oklahoma didn't really have too much problems with him, but they didn't have a hard time with anybody, really. Let me see. Damn it. And this is not going easy today. It's just not going easy.
That one cat from Milli Vanilli died of an OD in 98. Okay.
Yeah. Makes sense. It makes sense. Okay. Number 4. Now, we could have went either way here, I think. But I went with Jaden Jackson at number 4. Freshman All-American, coming back, started every game last year. I think he's going to be, again, I think he's going to be better. I think he's just going to be better. He's on another level than a lot of guys, I think. In a year in, he's going to be better in this system. I easily could have put Grayson Halton right here as well, because I think Grayson Halton was certainly one of the best defensive linemen, interior guys in the conference. There's a lot of really good guys, though, in this conference. I think Jaden is going to have a better year. He could very well end up being the best one out of them by the end of the season. I think coming into it, there's some upper-class guys, when we start getting into the rest of this little deal, that it's kind of easy to I just feel like it's probably the right way to go. Bishop Frank, thank you for the super chat. Appreciate that. Spitting Fire, he says, let's go, leave no doubt. Appreciate you, my man. Appreciate you, Bo. Just smash that like button. Appreciate you. All right, good. Oh, goody. All right, next.
That's right, Neilio. That's right. Heading out to the lake later. I'm going to be bumping it myself.
Are you?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Got you on it. You got you on it now, huh?
I'm like Donkey Kong now, bro.
Fuck. That's hilarious. That is hilarious. It's not wanting to upload this one. There it goes. Got that time. Okay. At number 3, from the Georgia Bulldogs, Kristen Miller. That dude is a stud to the nth degree. He's I think he's a junior, and he won't be around after this year though. This guy's an All-American coming right off the bat. He could have probably easily been number 1 too, but the guys I got at the next up, I like them just a little bit better. I think it's kind of interchangeable, the top 3 for sure. Again, I would still tell you that I think Jaden Jackson is going to be one of those guys as well. I just think that he's on another level than most of these guys. And like Big Mike said a minute ago, there's levels to this shit. There is levels to this shit. All right. At number 2, as soon as it uploads. At number 2, and this guy's definitely, I was impressed with him last year for sure. He's probably the best player that they had at Auburn. Keldrick Falk. There's other people that have him number 1 on their list as well as that goes, but stud, man. He's definitely the reason that they like their defense as much as they do. The guy can, you want to talk about some speed? This guy's got it. He's got all that twitch, and he can do pretty much whatever he wants to. I like the guy. So that leaves us at 1 guy left. Let's see. Damn this thing. It's not going as easy as I wanted it to. Not going as easy.
They could be laughing at her, or we could just turn them on to what life was like in the 80s, and they could become big fans. And you can look at it 2 ways. You could turn them kids on, brighten up their day.
Yeah, there you go. Number 1 defensive tackle in the SEC for my rankings, Caleb Banks out of Florida. There's your top 5. Caleb Banks is a stud. I think he's the big reason that, whenever when I'm ranking the D lines, and that's the next thing I want to do, I didn't have time to make the graphics for that. But I look at Oklahoma's defensive line as a whole is, I believe that it is the best in the country and not really that close. I certainly think it's the best in the SEC, but a lot of people that have had Texas at number, I don't understand exactly why when they had to go to the portal and they've replaced the core of that defensive line for the last 2 years. I struggle to believe it's going to be that good. I think that Florida's is legit. I think that Georgia is always going to be legit on the D line. And I'm going to tell you now, Alabama is legit on the D line. So I think that there's some really good D lines. I think that definitely Florida has one of the better ones, and they have, in my opinion, the best defensive lineman at the moment in the SEC, and Caleb Banks. In the end, as I said, I could have put Grayson Halton here. I was even thinking Dominic Williams had a big time year last year as well.
I think Oklahoma's got the best D line in the SEC.
Yeah,
you probably got to have 2 of them on there.
Well, and I very easily could have, but. And to be honest with you, the high top guys and their Florida dudes, they did have 2 on there. They had Grayson and Jaden. I wanted to spread it out a little bit, and I think that the depth is where I think Oklahoma's is the best. I think it's the depth. Now, I'm going to tell you that I also believe that you've got, obviously, R. Mason is going to be one of the top 5 guys for me as an edge guy. So my opinion is that you're that's part of it though. But that's, if you're ranking the D lines, you're also ranking the edges, not just the interior, right?
Yeah.
So I would tell you that I think that has part of it. I think that you definitely add R. Mason, but I think a lot of the reason that I don't have a second OU guy right now is I don't know who is going to be. I think that Grayson is going to be really good again. I think he's probably going to be better than he was this past season, but I also don't know that you're not going to be able to keep Stoney off the field. I don't think you
Yeah,
can.
it's going to be rotations, man. It's going to be waves.
Yeah.
That's what it is. I mean,
I agree.
like starting is just like a designation, but I mean, you're going to see similar snap counts.
I agree.
And
I
you're going to have the
100%
pass
agree
rush
with that.
package. You're going to have all that shit.
Sure.
Ronnie Wheat, bro, I would love to get down to 10 killer for sure. Would love it.
Yeah.
One of the most famous lakes
Where
in
would
the
you
world.
put Gerard Watson on your list along with Jackson? He was a freshman All-American. He wouldn't be too far off of it. Probably in the top 10 anyway. I like him. I like Watson a lot. I think there's other guys in there too. I mean, like I said, there's some other good defensive line guys for sure in the SEC. So it's not, no disrespect towards anybody. No disrespect towards, and certainly not any disrespect towards Oklahoma guys. I mean, I'm good with. I definitely think that we have the best defensive line, and I think that my question is, which one is going to be the best out of those guys? I'm not really sure. I think that Stoney could very well all of a sudden turn into, a really bad dude, a really bad dude. So we'll kind of have to wait and see kind of how it goes. But all right,
Elio, I would say 5 to 6 comfortably.
what are we talking about now?
Rotating
talking about
game.
Yeah, easy.
That's
Right?
interior. That's interior in my.
Right.
They could go 4. They could go 4 to 5 on.
Marcus Strong has been killing it, from what I understand. Marcus Strong, he looks great. Dominic Williams, another freshman All-American guy. He had another good year last year. I mean, 5 tackles for loss, 33 tackles. But again, their job is not to be stat stuffers. He still had a really good year. Yeah. I think that I don't know that you're going to keep Wyatt Gilmore off the field forever either on the edges and some of these guys. I mean, I think they're going to run 6 on both sides, or both interior and on the edges. They're going to run it. Live on 10 killer, got a great view and catch a lot of fish off my dock. Nice.
Yeah, he's big balling, bro.
It's hard to lose a recruit if that recruit was never interested in your program. That's true. Who are we talking about? Who are we talking about right there?
Boomer Haley, I'm going to Milford Lake, bro. It's like 5 minutes from the crib.
Ryan J. Irish. Who are you talking about? What recruit are we talking about there, dude? Florida might beat Texas this year. I think the Florida does beat Texas this year. It's in the swamp. Texas hasn't won a game against a team that has similar talent than them since Alabama 2.5 years ago. Alabama wasn't really in great shape at that point either. And look, I'm just going to say, I got to see more. But I think going to the swamp, no matter who you are, I think Georgia would lose games in the swamp. If they weren't playing at a neutral site, they would lose the games in the swamp more times than they wouldn't. Tennessee hadn't won a game there in 25 years. Nobody seems to do it. It's one of the toughest places in the country to play. It's like playing at LSU. It's very similar.
Does that mean Milford, not Milrow?
What?
Emilio.
Uh-oh.
Milford.
You
up there on Nudie Beach there, Neilio?
Yeah.
Nudie Gross coming up. What's up?
I think we'll be undefeated when we play Texas, and Texas will have 2 losses. Book it. It wouldn't surprise you. I think it's tough to ask them to go to the shoe and win against the defending champs. I think it is. They both have brand new quarterbacks. There's no telling what's going to happen. I think it'd probably be a pretty good game. But would it surprise you if they lost it? No. And OU should be undefeated. That's the hope. That is the hope. That is the hope. Did you see all this stuff about Florida State, Big Bogue? We've got 10 minutes left.
What do you mean?
The stuff in their contracts for these recruits that's been going around. And that was another thing that was on that same podcast with Jim Nagy that they were talking about. Let me go into it. I've got it here. So Mark Ingram was shredding it. I mean, taking it apart. But according to CBS, they've got certain clauses in these contracts for their rev share. And he basically Mark Ingram saying there ain't no way they're going to stay. And if a lot of this stuff, if it's correct, I don't know how they hold on to their damn recruiting class at all. And they've got a nice recruiting class right now. They got to knock this shit off. One of the clauses, according to CBS is seeing a copy of it, allows the team to extend a player at the end of their contract unilaterally without having to negotiate with the player. Another section on the team rules, common in most NIL or rev share deals, includes a maximum $2,500 fine on the first offense if a player loses team equipment, such as a pair of cleats. The max fine for using controlled substances for the first time is $1,000. Okay. There's another clause about things that would constitute a breach of contract. Among them is illness or injury, which is serious enough to affect the value of the rights granted to the school. The way it's written allows Florida State to renegotiate or even cancel a player's contract at its discretion after any sort of injury. Among other potential liquidated damages provisions included as part of the contract, including those that happen on the football field. So if you get hurt playing for them, they can cut you.
Yeah.
So essentially, Ingram's saying they're not going to go there. For one, this contract gives Florida State way too much control over your future and your money, exposes you to risk, injury, discipline, loss of leverage, all that. If you're a top player and you've got Florida State on your visit and they give you this, I'm sure there's another university that's going to give you better conditions and treat you like a partner instead of an asset. If it's me, I'm asking, I need some time. Give me a copy of that. I'll review it. And then when I see what's actually happening in this contract, I'm coming back with some more player-friendly clauses in the deal. If you're not willing to negotiate it, institute the player-friendly clauses that I'm requesting, then I'm probably going to leave and go to another school. Yeah. The crazy one to me is that they can just re-up that contract without negotiating it. So if the wild one is, that one, because say they're giving you $25,000 and that's what you were getting because you were worth that as a freshman coming in. Well, when it's time to renew your contract, they can renew it at $25,000, even though you may be worth $100 now. Seems a bit.
Like I said, does any of this shit even mean it? Does any contract really?
It's a good question, but here's the thing, though. If you start look.
Evidence 3021 why these contracts don't mean shit.
Until it's collectively bargained, I agree with you. If they want real and lasting and meaningful change in college football, you will have to collectively bargain with these kids. Give them a say in what it is that you're doing. All right. These things are going to have to happen. The other thing is that, especially at a time, you just went 2-10, man. You've got some recruiting. Look, when they brought Jaden O'Neal in, they ended up getting 3 really good receivers in a matter of days. It helped them. They went and got Devin Carter. I mean, they loaded up. Chances are their guy from this year, not Squirrel White, but the other dude, I'm trying to remember his name. He's a stud too. He could come back next year as well. They look like they should be pretty good. But you're going to go screw it up with your contracts, stipulations and stuff. I think at this point, the game that the NCAA and these programs and these schools and coaches and everybody else are playing is fucking nuts. But I agree with you. I don't think it's worth the paper it's printed
Hey,
on.
but hey, we're gonna end this on a good note. All
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
I just want to let you know that fall camps start this month.
That's right.
Okay. Like this is where we're at. We're in
3.5
July.
weeks from now.
Dude, fall camp, like they start practicing this month.
Yeah, we're 52 days away from ball games, bro.
Across the nation, bro. We're here.
We are here.
We are here.
It's exciting. It's exciting. I'm loving
Mhm.
it. When does camp start? Not soon enough. No, it's
That's what I'm saying.
yeah. What is the actual day? It's
Everybody's different, but most like if you're playing, if you got that game that for last weekend of August, like you're starting usually a month out. So
yeah, so it should be that Tuesday or Wednesday. So like the 29th.
yeah, toward the end of the month, sometime.
Yeah.
Toward the end of this month.
They usually start midweek. So, well, 7 Saturdays left. That a boy, Zofix. All right. Folks, I would just tell you, I want to kind of end this on a good note too. We were busting chops on everybody, but hey, everybody relax about this recruiting stuff. None of the shit matters until the end of the year anyway. And something tells me we're not going to know anything about whether or not they're really good at what they're doing and this plan of theirs is going to work. It's, as Mike said earlier, it's been already going on since before he showed up. But give him the benefit of the doubt. We got to trust this dude in his ability to find guys, because if you are looking at, if you believe that we can compete money-wise with some of these other programs, you're wrong. There's no way you can. And honestly, the way that things are in rev share and everything else, it's not going to allow you to do it. You can do the bagman thing, but that puts you at risk, at least for the time being. So we got to be really careful about what we're talking about. Embrace this and realize that this might be a way that you can compete for it all. That's the way I look at it. Let me know what time and a place. Where y'all going?
Well, he said we need to go fish on Coach Stoops' pond.
Yeah.
Let me know, buddy.
Let's do that. That sounds like fun.
Yeah, my old buddy Jimmy Houston. That's funny.
That's awesome.
A little slight flex right there.
Oh,
For those of you who know who Jimmy Houston is.
Well, always wearing the big T hat, the Tennessee hat, the old Jimmy Houston.
That was Bill Dance.
Oh, that's Bill Dance, right? Yeah. Who's Jimmy Houston? Which one is he?
He's big time.
The one that kisses no, that's also Bill Dance.
Jimmy Houston had the blonde hair, man.
Yes.
He had the blonde hair, like always wear the glasses.
Mm-hmm.
I think Jimmy Houston used to kiss fish too, though.
He's the one that kisses the fish.
Yeah, they both used to do it.
What the fuck is this?
Hey, they're not better than a good old Bill Dance outtake, like reels of like fails of falling off or hitting the shit.
They've fallen off.
On the hitch. Oh man.
Hell yeah.
Jimmy Houston is a Sooner? What? We got to get him to a game, bro.
Hell yeah.
I didn't know that.
Oh yeah. No, so I was thinking, it's the other guy that's the Tennessee guy, right?
Yeah, Bill Dance.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, he's the one that was always falling in the lake and shit. He's always the one that was falling in the lake.
I used to love those old school fishing shows when I was growing up, dude.
Yeah.
Dude, I loved it.
Oh yeah, dude. That's what was on Saturday mornings. That and World Wrestling Federation and
dude, that's what I'm about to do this afternoon. I'm going to get on these stripers, these wipers, bro. I'm getting after them. Bro,
those are fun. They put up a good fight. Stripers?
Yeah. Trying to get on those big boys.
A hatchery nearby there that they crush. So down below the dam around Vegas, they have a fish hatchery down there where they release trout all the time into the Colorado River. These stripers get, 25, 50 fucking pounds.
Oh yeah.
You want to talk about some fight, man. You tie into one of them fuckers, dude, it's on.
They've been hammering here lately.
It's fun. We went down there a couple of different times. It's Willow Beach is where we would go. And sometimes they wouldn't bite at all. You'd have to catch them at the right time when they were hungry still, but they eat so much because obviously they're letting on all of them hatchlings, you know what I mean? So they eat well. But if you catch them before the end, before they're going to release some more, when they're a little more hungry because they've already eaten the rest of them, then you'll get them to bite. But if you catch them at the wrong time, they'll sit there and look right at it and not fuck with it. So it's you can run it right in front of their face. They just don't care. But boy, when you tie into one, a 20-pound fish is freaking ridiculous to try to pull in. It's freaking ridiculous.
Dude, I just follow Jimmy Houston on Twitter. I didn't know he had a Twitter account.
I had no idea.
Amazing.
Learn something new every day. All right, guys, I got to been going for about an hour and 40 minutes. I know that's a little short for normal, but I got to get the coaches I got to go. So appreciate everybody coming in. Big Bo, if you want to join us on Wednesday, throw together rank some guys. I don't know. You're a defensive dude. Let me know what you think.
I have to pay more attention to other teams, dude. You know what I mean?
I get that. It's all good. But anyway, you can come on and we can talk about other stuff. All up to you. If you got time, let me know.
Yeah.
I got to holler at you about something else, but I'll hit you later on.
Yeah, hit me up.
All right, man. Appreciate everybody coming in. Make sure you hit that damn like button. I hadn't checked again, but that was pitiful like numbers a minute ago. Love you all anyway. See you on the next one. Hey, Jason Watkins here with Hall of Fame College Football. And if you are ready to back your favorite team, the Sooners, and fade that Texas hype train every Saturday this fall, there's only one place to do it, MyBookie. Right now, you can double your first deposit up to $1,000 when you sign up at hofmedia.us/mybookie1000. That's hofmedia.us/mybookie1000. Yep, 100% deposit bonus, and it takes less than 5 minutes to get started. Whether you're betting college football, rolling the dice in the online casino, or dropping a 10-leg parlay on SEC Chaos, MyBookie has everything you need. Bet anytime, anywhere, on the go, at the tailgate, or yelling at the refs from your couch. Just don't talk trash. Put your money where your mouth is. Hit that link, hofmedia.us/mybookie1000, and get your deposit bonus today. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie.